There's an update tonight on the future of North Beach. A proposed $40 million project to create a canal-based community continues to move forward. And tonight, the developers invited the public to join them on North Beach to get their questions answered. Our Madeline Dart was there for us. Maddie?
Yeah, Joe, a variety of people attended this open forum. People in charge giving a closer look at the canal and breaker islands that are a part of the project. Officials sharing there are 6 engineering companies who are working on various feasibility studies, 2 of them studying a way to turn breaker islands into an environment for birds and oysters to live on. Other studies focusing on raising areas of North Beach and assuring the canal doesn't flood the area.
Drainage ditch and canal are both showing that very early on that yes, this in theory does work, but we'll have hard numbers to come from it. They're coming out with some cost estimates as well as feasibility as how this worked.
Oh, it's just unbelievable. It's exactly, well, it was a little more than I was expecting, so it's really nice.
Employees with Blackard Global, the company spearheading the project, said they're also looking into turning the breaker islands again into a wildlife habitat for birds or oysters. Project officials are asking the public to get on board and support them. To find out how, head over to our website at KIIITV.com. Joe.
Thank you, Matt.